She's not gonna actually shoot it, right? That's what one of those overconfident guys said, laughing his head off, right before handing her the rifle. An unloaded rifle. Or at least that's what they thought. She didn't answer, didn't laugh, didn't even blink. She just held it, balanced it like it was a part of her arm, tilted her head slightly, like she was listening to something the rest of US couldn't hear. Then she tapped the scope once. Just once. And the guy spotting for her, the so-called expert, froze. You could see it in his face. He was doing the math in his head, and whatever numbers he got scared the hell out of him. The range that day was all sweat, heat waves, and big egos. You know the type. Testosterone dripping off every word, bets flying around, people yelling over each other about who's the best shot in the desert. And then there was her. No name on the roster, no team patch, no weapon of her own. Hell, not even a sidearm. Just a clipboard, a plain ponytail, and that calm, unreadable look that made the guys think she was just some admin chick here to count ammo boxes. So when that smug sergeant handed her the M107, all grins and mockery. Careful, sweetheart. That thing kicks harder than your makeup bag weighs. Nobody expected her to do anything but pose for a photo. She didn't pose. She didn't even smile. She just set the rifle down like she'd done it 1,000 times before, adjusted the bipod, shifted her weight. And then, this part still makes me laugh at how stupid we were. She stood up and moved 10 feet to the left. Like she owned the place. Nobody does that, you understand? You're not supposed to move unless you're repositioning under orders. But she did. Calm as hell. And the spotter, God bless him, his jaw actually dropped. Wait, that's the wind line, he whispered. Like he couldn't believe it. Suddenly nobody was laughing. She didn't ask for a range call, didn't need wind speed data, didn't even look at the guy spotting for her. Just laid down in that perfect prone position, lined up her shot, and waited. And I swear to you, the whole range went quiet, like we all somehow knew something was about to happen. The wind shifted for barely 2 seconds, that tiny gap where everything goes still, and she took it. One shot, one perfect shot, and that steel plate won. 580 yards out, the same one that eats bullets for breakfast, rang dead center like a church bell. The spotter checked his tablet twice, then just ripped off his headset like it was burning him. That's impossible, he muttered. But it wasn't. Not for her. She stood, handed the rifle back like she was returning borrowed car keys, and said only one word, "Thank you." Here's the twist, because you know there had to be one, right? Somebody pulled her file later, and half of it was blacked out, the kind of stuff you only see on ghost ops contractors. What we did find was enough to shut everyone up for good. Tier 1, call sign Ghost Links, 27 confirmed kills, most under hostile fire, all at distances that make your brain hurt. And she'd been retired for 4 years. Listed as logistics, my ass. That badge on her chest was a cover, same as the clipboard. And if that didn't blow your mind, this will, one of the younger snipers whispered he'd seen that exact technique before, once, years ago, from a legend named Wyatt. Turns out she was his last student. When she came back the next morning, she brought her own rifle, custom build, worn smooth from years of use. And nobody said a damn word. No jokes, no bets, nothing. They just watched. And when she fired 3 shots in under 20 seconds, hitting 3 separate targets perfectly, the range commander didn't even hesitate. He reinstated her active clearance on the spot. The best part? She didn't even care. "I'm not here to impress anyone," she told him. "I'm here to teach." And that's exactly what she did. She handpicked 12 students out of 200 applicants, not because they were the best shots, but because she liked how their minds worked. Precision is mental, she told them. You can teach someone to pull a trigger, but you can't teach them how to think. She made them meditate, listen to the way wind bounces off rock, learn to hear air pressure changes before they ever touched a weapon. And it worked. People who trained under her walked away better, not just better shots, better soldiers. But here's the thing that keeps me awake at night, because yeah, it's been days, and I'm still thinking about it. Why is she teaching here? Why now? A Pentagon official even offered her contracts, high-paying, black-budget contracts, but she turned them down flat. Said she's exactly where she needs to be. And maybe that's true. Or maybe she's waiting. The last time I saw her, she was lying on that same mat, headset off, staring downrange like she was looking at something the rest of us couldn't see. "A new guy? Some cocky kid?" asked "So who's the top shooter around here?" Nobody said a word. We just pointed. And I swear, even the surveillance drone shifted to follow her finger before she fired. Like it already knew who was worth watching. So yeah, that's her. Ghost Lynx. The quiet woman with the clipboard who humbled every single one of us without even trying. And you can say what you want about luck, but I was there, and I'll tell you straight, there was no luck in that shot. That was instinct, experience, and something else I can't explain. Something almost scary. Now I gotta ask you, what do you think? Should someone like her stay off the battlefield, training rookies? Or is it a waste of talent to keep a weapon like that locked away when there are wars still being fought out there? Drop your thoughts below, because honestly, I'm torn. You'd think that after a day like that, things would settle down, right? That she'd just keep training quietly, keep doing her thing without making waves. But nah, Ghost Lynx doesn't just walk into a place and disappear into the background. Not her. 2 nights after that perfect shot, the base went into lockdown. No warning. Just alarms blaring and MPs rushing through the corridors. I was in the mess hall when it happened, watching a couple of rookies argue over her shot like it was a damn magic trick. When the overhead PA system crackled to life, all active personnel remain in designated secure zones until further notice. Something serious was going down. And here's the weird part. She wasn't in the secure zones. She was gone. Just gone. The last person who saw her that evening said she was heading toward the equipment lockers, calm as ever. Same ponytail, same clipboard. Nobody saw her after that. An hour later, a convoy of blacked-out SUVs rolled through the north gate. No base insignias, no standard markings. Just tinted windows and quiet engines. If you've been around long enough, you know what that means: government ghosts. Special ops. Off-the-books contracts. The kind of people who don't sign in and definitely don't explain themselves. Now, I wasn't supposed to be anywhere near the command center, but I had a buddy on watch duty who slipped me some info later. They weren't here for anyone but her. And get this, they didn't call her Miss or Sergeant or even Ghost Lynx. They used her old operational call sign from classified files, Asset Theta. And apparently, she said no. Again, you know how rare that is? Turning down a black-budget retrieval team in the middle of the night? It's the kind of thing that either gets you a private jet back into the field or puts you on a list you really don't want to be on. But she didn't just turn them down. She embarrassed them. Because here's what nobody expected. One of those black SUV guys, some cocky operator probably thinking he was untouchable, decided to push. Witnesses said he leaned in close, tried to get all intimidating, told her, "This isn't optional." She didn't argue. She didn't raise her voice. She just stared at him. And that stare, God, I wish you could have seen it. Everyone talks about how calm she is, how nothing shakes her, but this wasn't calm. This was cold. The kind of look that says, "I've ended people for less than this." He backed off. Just like that. Didn't even finish his sentence. They left without her an hour later. But something about that exchange, something shifted after that night. The next morning, she was back on the range like nothing had happened. No one said a word about the lockdown. No one dared ask about the SUVs. She just unpacked her rifle, set up on her usual mat, and started running her students through breathing drills like it was any other day. But you could feel it in the air. Every single person out there knew she'd just stared down people with the power to make entire platoons disappear. And then came the second twist. The one that really made me wonder if she's just biding her time. A week later, one of her students, a kid named Barnes, barely 20, still too fresh to even grow a proper beard, got his hands on her old logbook. I don't know how. Maybe she let him. Maybe she didn't care. But he opened it and found something that wasn't supposed to be there. Not just data, not just shot angles and wind calculations. Notes, handwritten messages, coordinates. He brought it to her, stammering like a kid who just broke into the principal's office. She didn't get mad. She just smiled, closed the book gently, and said, "Don't worry about it, Barnes. You weren't supposed to understand that part anyway." Then she took the logbook back, locked it in her case, and for the first time since she'd arrived, she left the range early. That evening, she didn't eat in the mess hall, didn't go back to her quarters. Cameras picked her up walking past the perimeter fence just before midnight. No guard tried to stop her. No one ever saw her leave. 2 days later, a convoy of armored trucks heading toward a classified test site was hit by an unknown sniper team. 3 targets were taken out cleanly at impossible distances. No one claimed responsibility. But the way it was done, the timing, the precision, every single marksman on this base whispered the same name. And now she's back again, sitting on her mat, quiet as ever, teaching like nothing happened, like she hasn't left at all. But the thing is, you can feel it, you can see it in her eyes if you're paying attention. Something's different. She's watching more carefully now, listening, like she's waiting for something or someone. So, here's the million-dollar question I can't stop thinking about. And I want you to think about it too. Is she still one of us? Or is Ghost Lynx just waiting for the right moment to disappear for good? Maybe for a mission none of us are supposed to know about? Hell, maybe she already has one foot out the door. You tell me, what would you do if you were her? Keep training rookies, shaping the next generation? Or walk away and do what she was built to do, even if it means never coming back? Drop your thoughts below, because honestly, I'm starting to wonder if we're watching a legend teach, or if we're just killing time until she decides it's her last day here.